And we're back, 8:08 a.m. here on KFYO Mornings with Dave King and Matt Martin. And as promised, in the studio is the president of Texas Tech University, Dr. Lawrence Schovanec. Good morning, Dr. Schovanec.
Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
Well, we're glad you're here. Got a lot to talk about in just a couple of segments. Well, athletics is always a topic of conversation at Texas Tech.
Yeah. So March Madness takes on a special meaning for us this year. I think everybody was really pleased and maybe somewhat surprised that we got the third seed in Dallas.
In a very good way, we were surprised.
Yes, right.
I mean, it's great to have a game so close. I mean, I know Dallas seems far away for most people, but a lot of people just drive to Dallas anyway. So just having one close, we can go watch it. It's exciting.
I've been told that that's the hottest ticket of any regional site, and you could understand why.
Mm-hmm.
The Red Raiders, they're in the Metroplex, and also Stephen F. Austin being so close.
Both Texas teams.
It's going to be a really neat experience to be there. I think tickets are hard to come by. Mm-hmm. So it's a chance to get together with a lot of alumni. We have a couple of events planned, but I'm really looking forward to both those games.
Yeah, this game's going to be on TV also, is it not?
They all will be. Right. So it's it's just wonderful for Texas Tech to be part of the national conversation.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And the night that the seedings were announced, I heard from people in Los Angeles and people in Washington, D.C., all wanting tickets. But they're hard to come by.
So you didn't bring any extra tickets this morning. You don't have any in your pocket, I take it.
They only, we did. We went together with the system and the institutional advancement to get a suite where we'll be hosting a lot of people. But I was given a very limited number. That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
So another team that did very well since the last time we talked was your indoor track team.
That's right.
They won the Big 12.
That's right.
And they're going, I don't think they've done it yet, but they're going to the national, I guess it's a tournament. Or,
well, Matt, they actually had the national meet
they already did it?
in
Okay.
College Station. So that team, the indoor men's track squad was ranked number 1. Coach Kitley is pretty much a legend, not only in Texas but nationally in track. With that new facility, the Indoor Sports Performance Complex Center, I think the sky's the limit in terms of who he'll be able to attract. Mm-hmm. Not that he wasn't already doing that. But they won the Big 12 indoor meet, and they went down to the Nationals and finished 6th. Mm-hmm. It was really close. I think the team that won it had 40 points, and they had 29 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it could have gone either way, but hey, that's still pretty good.
Yeah, that's impressive.
And then also, when we're talking about what a great spring it's been, baseball has been ranked anywhere from 3rd to 5th. They beat Louisville yesterday, and they were in top 5.
A very good team, yes.
Kentucky a few days before. Women's tennis is 6th, and men's golf is 10th. So these are good times.
Well, the sports gods are smiling on Texas Tech all of a sudden, aren't they?
Right. And
let's hope some of that will matriculate over to football in the fall.
Dave, I knew you were going there. And last week somebody asked me about that, and I mentioned that I would hope that our fans would never use the success in one sport to make a dig at another. I know you weren't doing that.
No.
And but let's keep in mind last year. What was basketball in the Big 12? 6-12. Yeah. This year they turned around, and when you look at football, they have 10 returning defensive starters, all 5 linemen. I'm very excited about what will be.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what's funny, and I think it may have even been one of the years that Texas Tech won the national championship in women's basketball, but Levelland won a state championship in basketball when I was there. And I was in football at the time, and man, those football coaches are, what is wrong with y'all? We're not known for men's football. We're known for women's basketball, and they always use that as a motivational factor.
Speaking of women's basketball, Kirby Hocutt is in the midst of a search process, and he's very pleased with the list of potential candidates they have. That is still a very attractive job.
Yes.
You bet.
Because of the tradition, the facilities, with the proposed construction of the new practice facility and the great support from Dusty Womble and others, that's going to be second to none.
Well, and you've got recruiters like Cheryl Swoops out there that, if you were a head coach, you've got one heck of a team out there to work with you.
That's right. And so they'll turn that around in short order. And, and besides all this, there are still some things going on in academics.
Yes, there are. And you had mentioned that of something that might transpire down at Austin College. Huh?
So tomorrow morning we'll be flying into Dallas and going up to Sherman. We've been in discussions with the new president of Austin College. He's made 3 trips out to Lubbock. And when he approached us, he pointed out that they had just built a new science building, and the old building is a major resource right in the middle of a campus. And they said they would like Texas Tech to be offering graduate courses, not only for the Austin College students, and that's a superb undergraduate institution, but with all of the growth for the Metroplex North up to Sherman, Apple has plans. It'd be a great foothold for Texas Tech in that area, offering graduate courses.
How many graduate degrees could you do?
That's the kind of issue we're going to have to sort out. We're going over there tomorrow with the dean of the graduate school. The chancellor's going to go along. A regent will be with us, and we're going to meet some members of the board of regents at Austin College. It could be it could be a great opportunity for Texas Tech. The interesting thing about this is, with all the schools there in that vicinity, University of Texas, Dallas, North Texas, and such, they wanted the Texas Tech brand.
That's great.
It is.
That's just fantastic. Okay, hold that thought. We'll come back after this break and talk more with Texas Tech. News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM. This is KFYO Mornings. Dave King, Matt Martin, Dr. Lawrence Schovanec in the seat this morning at the other mic. We were talking about, of course, president of Texas Tech University. We were talking about the Austin College situation.
Right. So that's a chance for Texas Tech to increase their presence in the Metroplex area. In a couple of weeks, we'll also be going over to Rockwall Independent School District, where we'll be starting a 2+2 program there, offering the final 2 years of degree options for students. What we find out is that the Texas Tech brand is highly valued. Even though there are many choices for students in that area, they love the double T. But anyway, so we're still very preliminary, at a very preliminary stage in those conversations, and we'll be driving then from Sherman down to Dallas. There'll be an alumni event, and then get ready for the game.
So this would be a situation where, of course, we don't know how many masters you would offer. What do you expect? I mean, half a dozen or?
Well, typically we offer a limited number of degrees in those regional sites. For instance, we have a presence at Collin College in McKinney, and I think we offer 5 or 6 degrees. There has to be a balance of face-to-face instruction with online delivery. But the advantage we'd have at Austin College is we could use those faculty to teach some of those courses.
There you go.
Like an adjunct kind of thing.
They'd be for us.
So anyone that, well, specifically in the Metroplex area, could go there and do an advanced degree.
Pursue a master's and maybe possibly even a doctorate. So the point of tomorrow's trip, in fact, is to get into more of the details of what they want, what we could do. And then, of course, there's always the issue of the finances.
Sure.
We'll have to be leasing space there, but we do this at all of our regional sites. That's one thing I think you'll see from Texas Tech going forward is we will be trying to grow our presence at places like Waco with MCC. The president was on campus last week. What you find is there are a lot of people out there between the ages of 24 to 32 or something like that have some college credit but no degree. And also a lot of the people in those areas are constrained by family conditions, finances, that they have to stay there. And so we'll be reaching out more to those regional sites. I think if you look ahead, 2025, we're going to have more than 40,000 students on the tech campus, but I wouldn't be surprised if around the state would have a number more like 5,000 at our regional sites.
Well, that's great.
So, Doctor, one thing that I've been getting texts on our show and stuff after you come on sometimes, and one thing I've been asked to ask you more than anything else is, does Texas Tech have a drug problem right now in their dorms and otherwise, and is there anything Texas Tech can do about the opioid crisis and the things that are going on there?
So Matt, do we have issues like that? Yes, absolutely. I have never had a detailed discussion with somebody in residential housing or through our health and wellness center that would lead me to believe we have a crisis. But do we have issues? Yes, any university does, where you have a population of young students. This year, we increased the number of support personnel in our wellness center. We even now offer a lot of those services for faculty and staff. When I'm on next time, I'll make a concerted effort to be more specific.
Okay.
But nobody has come to me saying there's a crisis.
Mm-hmm.
I hear anecdotal information. Students get in trouble. I think it would be naive to say the situation at Texas Tech is considerably different than the national one. But rather than just sort of surmise or relate anecdotal information, let me talk to the people who really know what's going on, and I could address that, because that is a very important matter.
Yes, it is, and it would be interesting, because what we're seeing, and this isn't really publicized a lot, but here in the city, we've had a 48% increase, and this has been probably 6 months ago. The sheriff told us, the crime stats showed that 48% increase in crime over the previous 12 months, and it is almost exclusively drugs. For whatever reason, Lubbock has just turned into a center for, I guess, opioids and other drugs. And so it would make sense that probably they're more available here than they've ever been. And, you've got this, like you say, a huge number of young students who are more prone, perhaps, to take those drugs.
Last week, I had lunch with a city official, and it would be premature at this point to go into more detail, but we are planning to have a conference event with Texas Tech. He wanted us to reach out to the sheriff's office to address this very matter of the presence of drugs, how the support services at Texas Tech, like the Addiction and Recovery Center, are increased efforts that relate to mental health would complement what's going on in the city. So that's something that you'll be hearing more about in the future, but right now that's just in a very preliminary stage.
A couple of minutes remain, and we wanted to talk about the vet school. I hear news that Texas A&M is opening a vet school in Amarillo.
Well, Dave, they're not opening a vet school. What they, but you're right that there was a news issue item last week where they authorized the expenditure of something I think like $20 million for a facility that, as I understand it, would be sort of a clinic where some of their veterinary school students would go and spend some time. And the language they used was that it would address the issue of large animal care and rural vets, the very basis of Texas Tech's theme in proposing the facility in Amarillo. It would be very different, I think, than from what Texas Tech has in mind. Texas Tech's model would be based on providing a veterinary education without a teaching hospital. That would reduce the cost significantly. Mm-hmm. So A&M's model is still very different from what Texas.
So it hasn't derailed the Texas.
No, I would not say it's derailed it at all. And we continue to raise funds as charged by the board for the physical facility in Amarillo. Amarillo's been very, very cooperative they've taken the initiative in helping to raise that money. So,
so is this through Texas A&M or is this through West Texas A&M that they're trying to build this?
It would be the A&M School of Veterinary Medicine providing a part of their educational experience through West Texas A&M.
But it's not the full thing. It's just like the clinicals or something to that extent.
That's right, Matt.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
It'd be part of their distributed
A&M
model.
currently is the only vet school in the state, are they not?
That's right. And so, there are a limited number of vet schools in the country, probably, 30, 32, something like that. So
well, we have just a minute left. Anything that we've overlooked that you would like to just mention?
We had talked before we got on the air that, Texas Tech was notified yesterday that they had received what's called the Senator Paul Simon Comprehensive International Award. We will be getting that along with the University of Florida, State University of New York at Stony Brook. Those are both AAU schools. That's very good company.
Dr. Schovanec, thank you so much for coming out this morning. And Chris, I'm glad to have you out. And we'll see you, I guess, in another month.
Okay.